We now want to cross over to the city centre, where we have Patrick Amimo, a senior political reporter who has been doing the rounds within the CBD. And afternoon, Patrick. Just give us a sense of the environment in the city centre right now.
Thank you, Abby. As you rightly put it, businessmen in the central business district were really hit hard today with regard to this particular activity, the swearing-in ceremony of Raila Odinga as the people's president. Very early in the morning, most of the businesses did not open up for business because of the fear that there might be a clash between members of the public and the police. Because in the past, we've seen the Nairobi police commander had warned that they will not allow people to gather at Uhuru Park, and that now portended maybe trouble between the potential clash between the police and members of the public who are keen to come and see to witness the swearing-in ceremony. And we also had very, very minimal human activity in town, and even now as I'm talking, the streets of Nairobi are basically we don't have as much traffic as it was, because this is like Kenyatta Avenue, where it's a very, very, very busy street. But this time around, we can see we have vehicles, scores of vehicles that are using this particular road of Kenyatta Avenue, which is a very busy road in the CBD. Also, Mwindi Mbingu Street is also equally not very busy in terms of traffic, because most of the vehicles, I think, also people decided to, those who have private vehicles decided to stay, maybe to have them in their homes and not come to the CBD. So the parking lots were also vacant, and for the City Council of Nairobi, I think the money that they get from the parking fee today, they have to register a very low revenue from the parking slots in the town, because most of them remained empty. And also most of the businesses around have closed, like just close by me, nearby is along the Mwindi Mbingu Street. You can see most of the shops have closed, and some put up barriers or barricades just in case of any trouble, and to put off would be looters. But what has happened is that we've seen the crowd that came from Uhuru Park. They did disperse in a very peaceful manner. They just walked by the streets. There was no trouble. They walked peacefully, but then the businessmen could not take chances. That's why we see most of the shops have closed just in anticipation, because you never know what might happen, because maybe someone somewhere might provoke any activity that might result into looting. But so far along Kenyatta Avenue, things are peaceful. There's little traffic, and also most of the businesses here are closed, and people are just trying to see what really might have happened. Gina?
And Amimo, perhaps what is the state of security within the city centre? Have you been able to spot policemen conducting foot patrols and that kind of thing?
Strange enough, in the CBD today, we didn't have the presence of uniformed police officers. They were very, very minimal, unless maybe we had the plainclothes officers who are hanging around. But in terms of those uniformed officers, very, very few. And in fact, after the rally, that's when I spotted a few administration police officers just walking in their groups, but they can be counted. They are not as many as it was. They are not. In fact, you can't feel their presence in the CBD. I think most of them decided to keep off the CBD and also Uhuru Park as the area where the activity for today was being undertaken. So the streets, no police presence so far. Agina.
Finally, Amimo, and being a weekday, are there reports of the public service vehicles? Have you been able to spot some of them on the roads, or Kenyans should prepare to seek alternative modes of transport back home from work?
In terms of public transport, they've witnessed really low traffic, low commuters, because initially in the morning I was at the Kencom stage and buses were just empty. Very few commuters were using the buses. And in fact, even those that are now coming to the CBD, they are not full to capacity. So there are very, very few people came to town. I think most decided to keep to the estates. And also, for the PSVs, they are still waiting, because they are the few that came to town, and also maybe to witness the swearing in ceremony and those who worked, especially in government, those are in government service, and also those who work in the private sector. Those public service vehicles will be available to ferry these the commuters back to the estate to link up with their families after the day's work. So in terms of public transport, the public transport is operating just well, but it's only that the numbers of passengers that are boarding these vehicles is too low for those who own public service vehicles today. So in terms of also revenue, those PSV operators will also have at least a low intake back home. Again.
Many thanks, Patrick Amimo, our senior political reporter, giving us a situational update into what's happening within the Central Business District. And we want to take you back to some live pictures now in Kisumu, where we understand that a number of supporters are actually on the streets celebrating and terming this particular development as a key milestone for the people of that region, who are also part of one of the key strongholds of the opposition leader, Raila Odinga. Well, pictures there coming to you live from Kisumu. We did hear from a few of those residents. And